David was exhausted, vulnerable, and fleeing into the wilderness, completely stripped of his royal defenses after Absalom's sudden betrayal. Back in the capital, Absalom's rebel court was consolidating power. The immediate threat to David's life came from a single architect, Ahithophel. This map illustrates Ahithophel's proposed strike: 12,000 elite troops advancing rapidly along a direct vector at night. The sudden raid would induce panic, scattering defenders and isolating the king. The sole objective, his assassination, to legitimize the coup. Against this concentrated force, David's depleted and exhausted faction offered almost no tactical resistance. Ahithophel's plan addressed every tactical variable. By the standard logic of military engagement, David's position was untenable. But a plan is only as good as the council that approves it. Hushai, a secret loyalist, entered the court to sabotage the operation from the inside. Hushai used risk inflation to stall the attack. He weaponized fear by framing David and his surviving men as dangerous, desperate veterans. He invoked the image of a bear robbed of her cubs, convincing the war council that a rapid night strike would result in a bloody, demoralizing stalemate. This risk assessment matrix shows Hushai's impact, recalculating the mission from a high-reward strike to high risk. He proposed a weeks-long mobilization of a nationwide militia instead. This contained a fatal lure, guaranteeing Absalom the personal glory of leading an unstoppable army himself. By playing on vanity, Hushai successfully replaced immediate lethal action with a catastrophic operational delay. Driven by political pride, Absalom formally adopted the mobilization plan, ignoring the tactical urgency of the original strike. This delay secured a singular asset for David, a finite window of time. However, David was still trapped inside a shrinking red kill zone. He would only be safe if he could cross the Jordan River before the countdown hit 0. Survival now relied on raw intelligence moving across enemy lines faster than Absalom's bureaucratic mobilization. Psychological sabotage only bought the opportunity. Now, David's escape required the flawless execution of a covert communications network. Hushai initiated the relay, slipping the details of the delay to loyal priests hidden deep within the hostile city. The intelligence moved from the priests to a female servant, who acted as an invisible intermediary waiting outside the city gates. She made the handoff to 2 embedded spies, Jonathan and Ahimaaz, who began a sprint toward the wilderness to warn the king. But the mission was spotted. An enemy informant identified the spies, compromising the entire network. In the village of Baharim, the spies were forced to hide at the bottom of a dry well to evade capture. A local civilian woman intervened, improvising a camouflage cover by rapidly spreading coarse grain over a blanket stretched across the ground. The intelligence mission was saved by the quick thinking of an anonymous civilian who concealed the evidence in plain sight. With the pursuit diverted, the spies reached David's camp and delivered the urgent directive: cross the Jordan River immediately. Under the cover of night, a weary king and his entire faction urgently waded across the dark water boundary to safety. By dawn, the crossing was complete. When Absalom finally mobilized his massive army, he closed the trap on an empty wilderness. David's survival didn't depend on a larger army. It relied on Absalom's vanity, the risk taken by spies, and a woman at a well.